sleep that night. The city was quiet, the streets empty, and the silence inside his apartment felt heavier than the ticking clock on the wall. He put on his jacket, left without turning on the lights, and walked through the streets with no clear destination. His steps echoed on the pavement until he reached the old railway station. No trains had run there for years, yet something drew him closer. The air smelled of wet stone and rust, and the rails glimmered faintly in the moonlight. Then the ground trembled. Logan froze as a sound rose from the distance, first like a hum, then like the rolling thunder of wheels. Out of the darkness emerged a train, black as coal, but glowing with soft golden light in its windows. It stopped without screeching, and a door slid open. Logan felt no fear, only a strange certainty that he was meant to be here. He stepped inside. The carriage was warm, filled with the smell of bread after rain. At the far end sat an old man with a violin case. A woman clutched a letter to her chest. A teenager pressed a folder against his heart. They barely looked at Logan. The train began to move, yet the wheels made no sound, as though it glided through memory instead of steel. Logan took a seat, his backpack beside him. The conductor appeared, neither young nor old, his face calm and watchful. He nodded to Logan and said, "This train runs only once and carries people not to places, but to choices." Logan wanted to ask more, but the conductor was already helping the woman steady her shaking hands. The first stop came quickly. Outside was a platform of shadows where voices lingered. The conductor explained this was the platform of echo, where one could hear words that had been spoken wrongly or too late. The old man rose, carrying his violin case, and Logan followed. The air outside carried warmth, as if invisible crowds had just spoken. The man closed his eyes, lifted his hands as if ready to play, and though he had long ago lost his hearing, a faint sound stirred across the platform. Not music, but the ghost of it. The man smiled and returned lighter, as if silence had finally sung to him. The train moved again, and soon came to a garden where trees held sheets of white paper like frost on branches. The woman with the letter trembled as she stepped out. Logan went with her. The garden whispered softly. The woman opened her envelope to reveal a blank page. No pen was needed. Words formed like dew as her heart finally spoke. She pressed the page to her chest, no longer afraid, and walked back with calm steps. The boy with the folder left at a hall filled with empty frames. He stood frozen, afraid of failure. Logan stayed beside him. At last the boy admitted his fear aloud, and that confession was enough. A line appeared in one frame, then colors until an image took shape. He returned with lighter eyes and steadier hands. Hours passed. Logan dozed under a blanket the conductor gave him, dreaming of laughter, snow, and campfires long gone. When he woke, the carriage smelled of fresh bread. The companions were changed. The woman smiled softly. The man's fingers moved as if over strings. The boy sketched freely. The train stopped at a workshop filled with silent clocks. The clockmaker said he repaired promises, not hands. The man traded his silence for a silver note. The woman asked for courage to step forward. The boy learned that a line is not a mistake until it is finished. Logan admitted he wished to return to a home where even one lamp burned for him. The clockmaker handed him a tiny key, saying it could unlock conversations, not doors. They crossed a bridge over dark water where reflections showed homes. Logan saw a table with one plate and an empty one waiting. His chest tightened. The conductor whispered that sometimes home is nothing more than a place kept ready. Logan did not answer, but he could not look away. Finally, the train reached the platform of return. Here each had to choose. The woman walked ahead, clutching her letter. The old man nodded to Logan with strength in his eyes. The boy admitted fear but still stepped forward. Logan was last. On a bench lay his lost childhood ball. He picked it up, feeling the warmth of summers long gone. He realized choice meant owning his life, not the one that could have been. He returned to the train with the ball in his hands. When dawn came, the train reached the old station again. The others were gone. Only Logan stepped onto the platform. The air smelled of stone and bread from a nearby bakery. He walked through the arch into the waking city. He climbed the stairs to his door, hearing morning sounds within. A cup moved, water boiled, a stove clicked. He knocked not as one afraid, but as one who had returned. The door opened. On the table was one bowl and beside it an empty plate. Logan spoke the first simple needed word and felt space open around him. Far away the train moved again, empty but glowing, waiting